Homicides in the city for this month of March. Any concerns or any preventive measures that you all can do to the numbers are reflecting higher than what they have in like recent years or last year in particular?
Yes, you are correct. They do reflect higher, approximately 38%. Now, before I address the homicides specifically, let me just talk about crime overall for the first 2 months of the year here in the city. Except for homicides, every Part 1 crime in this city is lower for the first 2 months this year than it was for the first 2 months in 2014. That means robbery, rape, aggravated assaults, burglaries, thefts, auto thefts. Every single crime category in Part 1 crimes are lower in 2015, year to date, than they were in 2014. Matter of fact, every single crime in those categories except for aggravated assault and burglary are lower by double digits. So Part 1 crime, including murders in Part 1 crime, is down by 12% in the city. So let me say that again. Part 1 crimes, all crimes, even with the increase of murders, the city is 12% safer the first 2 months of this year than it was last year. Now let me just get to murders specifically, because it is the most heinous crime, most violent crime in our society. One murder is one too many. If you look at the dynamics involved in murders, usually the motive for murders fall into really 2 categories when you think about it: money and passion. And many times those motives are carried out behind closed doors. There's very little that a Houston police officer can do to intervene in an apartment complex inside somebody's bedroom or inside someone's living room when 2 or 3 people get into a heated, passionate argument and someone pulls out a gun and kills 2 or 3 people. There's very little that law enforcement can do to intervene in those type murders. And if you look at the murders, the majority are happening in situations like that where they're happening inside someone's home, apartment, or they're involving people who are engaging in high-risk activity. Some type of illicit activity. Early morning hours, late at night. And I think what has contributed to that is guns and drugs. So it is a concern. And we will keep up the steady enforcement using every legal means that we can without violating anyone's constitutional civil rights to bear arms in this country, to make sure that we can do what we can to reduce gun violence. But I am concerned about it. It's a good question, and every other citizen should be concerned about gun violence. And we should be teaching our kids and our teenagers about gun violence. And we should be turning in those individuals that we know that are engaged in gun violence and carrying guns illegally. We should be calling Crime Stoppers, because of threat, these type of individuals who are engaged in this type of activity of committing murder is a threat to the whole community. And most people believe that, well, I'm not out there late at night, I'm not in the drug trade, I'm not doing anything illicit. But an individual who has no regard for life and the law with a firearm is a threat to anyone. That's my take on it. We're gonna do everything that we can proactively to intervene, but we are limited in certain situations.